Warning, this video is not suitable for some viewers. Also, I may have used some of your clips in this video. Hey everyone, it's Reek, and I rode Wicked Twister, a thrilling, double-twisting roller coaster that used to be at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. The coaster gods have forced me here for their amusement, and I can already say that I have gained amusement as well from riding this now defunct coaster. Wicked Twister was an impulse coaster built by Intamin, which operated from 2002 all the way up to 2021. Why was the lifespan of this ride cut short? To put it briefly, 1. It was an Intamin coaster at a Cedar Fair park, and 2. It was literally classified as a fill-in attraction by park officials. To put it extensively, Intamin's roller coasters are widely bound to have multiple inefficiencies, a ton of mechanical issues, and therefore are guaranteed to break down at least once or twice a day. Moreover, this attraction really lacked in popularity, at least compared to the other coasters in the park. Magnum can cap out with a 30-minute wait, Gatekeeper gets about a 45-minute wait on some of its crowded days, some of the major rides like Steel Vengeance have multi-hour queue lines without hesitation, while the longest wait I've seen for Wicked Twister, even on the park's most crowded days, is about 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, this was not really a ride that would single-handedly bring people into Cedar Point. Yes, other coasters at the point normally have lines as short as Wicked Twister, like Gatekeeper, Magnum, and maybe Raptor. But do you know what those rides have better of than Wicked Twister? Higher capacity, throughput, and most importantly, staying power. Gatekeeper has the keyholes in a wide variety of inversions, Raptor has the wide variety of intense inversions, and Magnum has the massive drop in insane final run of hills, while Wicked Twister had twisted towers. I can see why some people call this a flat ride instead of a roller coaster. But enough of my nagging from the public eye, let's see what I have to think about this massively defunct coaster. Walking through the queue line, you realize that this roller coaster is right next to the beach, and what a setting. You have a tall and dominant roller coaster at one end, and a large and dominant Great Lake on the other. Once in the station, you get a taste of the Crystal Method. Now that's a way to pump you up for an impulse coaster. Once riders are ready to be loaded, the inverted cars lock you into some basic over-the-shoulder restraints with some of the strangest placements for an extra seatbelt. And then you wait, legs dangling in the process, until the ride ops give the thumbs up, and you launch in 3, 2, 1. Oh man. Let's skip the forces and talk about the launch sound. That freaking launch sound. Those are not obnoxiously loud screams you're hearing, those were the launch motors. Intamin's linear induction motors, or LIMs, are known for making kick-ass sounds, as well as providing a darn good launch. Once off the first launch, riders slightly go up the front tower, roll backwards, and do a light boost towards the back tower, gaining about the same amount of height. And then the ride gets crazy. A third launch ensues, rocketing passengers at a top speed of 72 miles per hour, or 116 kilometers per hour, up the front tower, giving a wildly quick twist for those who are more up front on the train, and launching all the way back to the rear tower, this time giving a wicked twist for the back cars. Afterwards, the train quickly rolls to the front spike, gets some decent height up the front tower, and finally makes a hard stop into a set of brakes. Well, that was a pretty simple ride, huh? To that, I say yes and no. Yes, it's just back and forth up two massive 216-foot towers. And no, it doesn't just feel like your typical up and down attraction. With its simplicity, Wicked Twister sure as hell was an interesting ride. I mean, just by the way you're situated is worth a ride out of pure interest. It was such an amazing feeling when you're in the front row, feeling all of that wind and speed from head to toe, legs dangling and everything. This feeling of speed was unlike most others, only most. But what if you weren't in the front row? Is this coaster basically unrideable at this point?
Absolutely fucking not.
Like I've mentioned before, the cars twist at crazy speeds depending on where you sit and what twisted spike you're going up. Spiraling to the Sandusky sky up that front spike is pretty disorienting in the front cars, but personally, I prefer that back spike in the back cars. Now this is what I would call the element of surprise. After taking that fourth launch, the back few cars pull up the spike at full force, and then do a stupid fast twist up while looking straight down. I don't even need to mention that same turbo twist going down, because that upwards trip alone is worth craving over. After riding this well over 20 times in the span of almost an entire Cedar Point season, my preferred row on this attraction was the second to back row, right seat. There, it provided the full extent to that back spiral while giving a fantastic, barely blocked Hypercoaster Heights view down to the sandy ground. So basically, great intense whip plus great views equals a darn great element. Too bad over the shoulder restraints are also combined with said whip. Ah, here we go. The biggest flaw of the whole shebang. The most worthless type of coaster restraints. OTSRs. Over the shoulder restraints. The only reason why these restraints are on this ride, I presume, is because the designs of these retro inverted coaster cars were placed so close to the track, it was mandatory for not just these restrictive bars, but also a maximum height requirement to be put into place. Now have fun with this hard plastic because, in the realm of restraints making and breaking the respective rides, the over-the-shoulder restraints kind of broke the likability towards Wicked Twister. For one, casually rolling around gets pretty shaky, especially when the ride goes up to its faster speeds. And second, the train snaps into the twisting so quickly that heads are bound to jostle around. I was so surprised on my first ever front row ride, where my head was abruptly moving around while going up and down that forward tower. Add the aforementioned shakiness, and you get a not so pleasant experience. But at least to me, that doesn't throw away all of the ride's qualities. I have definitely dealt with worse headbanging, even within the same park. And my tolerance with roughness has surprisingly gotten higher as I ride more coasters. So if anything, these final words can only be taken as nitpicks. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to pop myself some ibuprofen. In the overall swing of things, Wicked Twister was a darn solid roller coaster. For the amount presented to the guests, it surprisingly packed a ton into one experience. The suspended launches were fun, the twisted towers were insane, and even the final brake run was pretty sick. You took these with so much slowdown that it basically felt like an accelerated launch. With next to no line, this attraction was worth at least a good spin or two, and as an overall good roller coaster, Wicked Twister deserved a 7 out of 10. Good freaking riddance, you twisted son of a gun. Alright, coaster gods, I know you want me to ride more old roller coasters, so just send me to, I don't know, Mean Streak or some other big ass wooden coaster that also closed down. Hey, I was kidding! I don't want to freaking ride Mean Streak! Oh. Okay. Well, hopefully this ride won't let me reach for ibuprofen again, so stick around until next time when I determine if a classic wooden coaster had a rough or smooth life. Until then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get hooked on future uploads. Stay tuned for more stuff from Single Rider Reek, and have a thrilling rest of the day.